What's up, guys? So I'm finally starting the 12 Days of Christmas, like super late, but whatever. And no, it's not because I fell into the oblivion hole of Dragon Age Inquisition. That's not why. I wish it was that, but it's not just that. There's a lot of things going on right now, so I haven't been able to record a lot of things. But yeah, I have compiled a bunch of questions from you guys that I collected from Twitter and Facebook. From here on out, I'm going to be collecting them from the comments. So if you have any questions to me, just random questions, they don't have to be video game related or anything like that. Questions, just put them in the comments down below and I will try to answer as many as I can. If you could pair up two Dragon Age characters who weren't in the same game, who would they be? Friends or romance? I would prefer to see friendship or rivalry instead of like a romance between these two, just because I think it would be absolutely hilarious. Would be Ogren and Iron Bull. How perfect would that be? Kiss, Marry, Kill, Anders, Conrad Werner, and Drunk Tally. Marry Drunk Tally. What Anders? Anders Awakening or Anders DA2? Kill Anders and kiss Conrad Werner. Who are your top 3 DAI companions besides Blackwall or Varric? Out of just the companions, not advisors, Cassandra, Dorian. Dorian's like my best friend. Probably Iron Bull. Would you like to develop a game? How would it be? Something in my freaking face. I would like to be part of a development of a game. I would love to be on the writing side. I love sci-fis, but I also really love writing gothic stories. Like, you know, like stuff that have to do with like something kind of scary. But more like, not so much like, ew, gory, oh my god, that's so scary, look at zombies. No, more like a romantic scary. And by using the word romantic, I mean more like, you know, vampires of way back then. You know, kind of like Bela Lugosi. Or, you know, the vampire that's like in the darkness, just like, you know, that you don't really see. It's more like, oh my god, there's something out there. What is it? I love mysteries, so I love gothic, mixing it with mystery, and just gloomy, like a gloomy setting. Kind of like the setting of The Order. That's why I'm so crazy about that game. Because it's my style, it's my feeling of game. I've written some gothic stories about vampires and werewolves. Not so much about the actual monsters, but it was more about the science behind it and what if it was really real, like how it would be if it was real. Trying to make it believable. And just trying to capture that feeling of actually living in a world where it would be possible. The feeling of The Order, that genre, that feeling, that setting, but make it an RPG. It would definitely be an RPG for me. Was there ever a time you thought about quitting YouTube? There have been times where I've thought of like, is it worth it? Especially when a lot of things are going on around me. And I find myself thinking, I can't make a video right now. But it's never really been something very where I actually consider it, because I love YouTube. I love doing this. And like I said, I don't really see it as a job. So it helps me. It's like my therapy. So I've never really wanted to actually stop doing it because I need it. And whenever I'm away from it, when I'm away from making videos, it really wears me down. Like I really feel it because I don't have that distraction. This helps me so much because I get to talk about what I love. And a lot of people that I talk to don't really like the things that I like. And I don't really have someone to talk about what I talk about here. Because when I start talking about my stuff, my games or my video games, people lose interest. The people that I've talked to, my friends, They usually talk about what they want to talk about. And then when I start talking about the things that I like, oh my God, this game's coming out, or, oh, I talked to this one developer, or, something really big that I think is amazing, they usually lose interest really quick. And I'm like, first it was weird when I started doing this, because I was like, I'm talking to a camera. Like, this is weird. And I'm by myself. It was never hard for me to do it. It was never hard, but it was kind of weird where I'm like, yeah, I told my brother the other day, I was like, people that don't have anyone to talk to become YouTubers. It's usually people that don't have anybody to talk to and have a lot to say. You will see a lot of people, a lot of big YouTubers talking about them having anxiety problems, about them not being able to talk to people, about them being awkward around people, socially awkward and stuff. Even people that have been shy. I'm shy. A lot of people don't believe me, but I am a shy person. So that's why I'm saying that I've never been serious about quitting it, because it helps me so much. That's what I was gonna say, that after after time passes doing this, I stop thinking that I'm talking to the camera, and I start thinking, and you start to think that you're talking to everyone, to all of you. I start to see the camera as you guys and not just the camera. So I know that I'm talking to you guys. I know that you all are listening, and that's something special. So yeah, I love you guys. Which game do you wish could come out soonest to furthest? Mass Effect 4, Fallout 4, or Elder Scrolls 6? Soonest to furthest. Soonest, Mass Effect 4, obviously, the next Mass Effect. Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 4. What were your expectations when you started your YouTube channel? I really had no expectations. It was just me doing this. I knew I had watched a lot of YouTubers before I did it, and I felt that I could do it. And you shouldn't go into YouTube with expectations, saying, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make this many subscribers, I'm gonna make this much money, I'm gonna be super popular. You shouldn't go into YouTube thinking like that, because you got to be really, really good at what you do, and really unique as well, because you have to be you on YouTube. If you want to hit it, if you want to be good, and have people come to your channel, you have to stand out from everyone else, because a lot of YouTubers are doing the same thing. So you have to be yourself, and you have to have a reason for people to come to see you. So that's the only thing that I was thinking of, was, okay, I want to find a way of doing things, entertaining things, things that are me and not somebody else. I think the worst thing is setting expectations when coming into YouTube, because it's very likely that you're going to be, for the first few months, sometimes even a year, and that is if you keep at it, because if you don't keep at it, then forget it. It's just gonna. But if you keep at it, sometimes it doesn't pick up until a year later. So if you go in with expectations, saying I'm going to make these many subscribers in a month or something like that, you're probably going to be let down, and you're going to feel bad about it and stuff. So don't set any expectations. Just go into it having fun and doing what you want to do, what you like. Just be you. That's it. That's all I did. That's all. That was it. That was the only thoughts that I had when I went into it. What is your favorite holiday tradition? I'm assuming Christmas time. Probably making tamales. Making tamales is a Hispanic tradition. In Mexican and in general. I don't know if other South American, actually they do. Other South American countries make them as well, and they make them different. Sometimes they use the banana leaves to make the tamal instead of the corn leaves. We've always made them since we were kids. I don't know when we're going to make them this year. Things have just been weird this year. I've kind of felt a bit grinchy this year where I'm like, I don't want anything. Like, I don't, my brother's like, make yourself a Christmas list. And I was like, no, I don't want a freaking Christmas list. Like, that's the last thing I'm thinking about. Freaking Christmas lists. The other day I blew up on my brother and I felt so bad afterwards. I was like, I totally felt like a Grinch. I was like, I don't want the freaking Christmas tree. I don't want anything. And I shouldn't be like that. Like I immediately thought about it and I was like, that's not cool. Like, you know, I shouldn't do that. But it's just sometimes it's just too much and it wears me down. Like my mind, it just wears me down. I get sick of everything. And especially because it is contagious. So I prefer to contaminate my household with good vibes instead of bad vibes. So yeah, making tamales is my favorite holiday tradition. This one's pretty big. You are in possession of 4.5 tons of stolen elf fruit. Nobody knows you stole it. Your exit plan goes bad. It's a matter of time before you're found. What do? Panic, call Commander Shepard. Hide the stash in Blackwall's house. Find a dragon, leave it by its feet, say the dragon stole it. Throw it in an open rift. Hope nothing happens. Panic and call Commander Shepard. Definitely. When in doubt, call Commander Shepard. You know those sayings where it's like, don't panic or something like that? Mine would say, panic and call Commander Shepard. Favorite movie of 2014. This one's, I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I didn't watch that many movies. I don't even know what movies I watched that came out in 2014. I think The Hobbit, the last Hobbit movie, that was 2014, right? I don't even remember, dude. I guess that one. Because I didn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't watch the new Thor movie. I didn't watch Iron Man. I don't even know if that was 2014. But I really want to. I usually leave it for renting. I don't know why, but I don't like to go to the theater anymore. I stopped going for so long that I'm just like, really? I have to go to the damn theater and be there sitting with a bunch of people? I prefer to be in the comfort of my home. You know, I like to like put my feet up and like get some hot chocolate and like cover myself with like a blanket and just like watch a movie. Favorite party composition in Dragon Age Inquisition so far? Dorian, Blackwall, and Varric. Besides Witcher 3, what game are you most anticipating? The Order, 1886, obviously. I haven't looked too much into games that are going to be releasing in 2015, so I'm not 100% sure as to other ones. They don't jump into my mind right now. I'm sure there are other games that I want to play. Actually, the new Harvest Moon game, I really, really want to play it. It's not Harvest Moon anymore. It's Story of Seasons, but it's the same. I have a video where I explain all that craziness, what happened with Harvest Moon and all that. What did you think about the ending of the Walking Dead game? I know it was old. It's an old video, but I'd like to know. I kind of refuse to talk about the ending of The Walking Dead because a lot of people seriously have no respect for others' playthroughs, and they like were sitting there like, oh well, you got the worst ending, my ending was the best. And it's like, oh my God, like how old are you seriously like 5 years old right now? But since you're asking, I actually loved my ending as much as it broke my heart, because if you guys watch my playthrough, I was crying like a little baby. It broke my heart to do what I did, but I loved that ending. And a lot of people were like, yeah, right, you're just saying that because you got it. No, I seriously loved it. I think it was the best ending for my Clementine. You know, whatever you guys want to choose, you feel right. You know, your Clementine, whatever you chose, it feels right for you. For you, it's personal. That's why I'm like, why are so many people criticizing when it's like, this game is about choice. It's about personal choice. It's about what you choose. It's about what kind of Clementine you make. The way that she just like stops and just gets the zombie blood and puts it on her and then puts it on the baby, and then she's like, all right, let's do this. It was just like, damn, you know, she has become so strong. She has learned so much from Lee, so much from everything that she's gone through, that it just doesn't faze her anymore. Like, she's gone through so much. A lot of people wanted me to actually change my ending, and I'm like, really? You think I'm going to change my ending for you just because you're telling me that I got a bad ending? These people are seriously, they're delusional or something, because they think that they I don't know, there's like some kind of like manual somewhere of how to play The Walking Dead. And if someone gets it right, wrong, they're like, you got it wrong. Right here, page 255. You did it wrong, so you got to go back and do it right because you're not going to get the achievement or something. You know, it's like so stupid. If you had to choose between having the actual Normandy SR2 or Beefcake's Blackwall, for those of you that don't know, as your personal manslave who had to do anything you say, which would you choose? I would definitely choose the Normandy SR2. Are you kidding me? I don't want manslaves. I love Blackwall, but I don't want a manslave. That's just weird. What do you think of The Witcher 3 delay until May? I mean, until May, it's kind of like, oh, ouch. God, really? But, I mean, it is. I really want to play this freaking game, but I think it's better if CD Projekt Red, I mean, this was most likely not an easy. This is never an easy decision for a game developer to push their game not only once but twice, and maybe even more times. It's always hard because they're gonna get heat from the fans, especially if it's a series that it has a big fan following, and especially if it's a game that a lot of people are looking forward to. So for CD Projekt Red to do this, it took guts. It was a huge risk, and I prefer to see video game developers show that they are willing to take the risk for the game, more so than just putting face for the gamers, saying, well, the game's not ready, but we're gonna get heat for it, so screw it. Let's just release it, and then we'll patch it later. No, I hate that. I hate that. If the game is not going to be ready for that release date, I prefer the developer to come out and say, you know what, it's not going to be ready. It's not going to be 100. They're never going to get it 100%. But they're like, it's not going to be the best experience on release. Give us a few more months. That's always better in my book than the developer saying, you know what, it's just so that we could avoid the bad press and just so that we could avoid maybe the loss of pre-orders. Let's just release it on that day, even though it's not going to be the best experience, even though we're going to have to patch it like crazy, because it's going to have a bunch of glitches or whatever, a bunch of bugs. I prefer them pushing it further and making it better for that release. So I think it's much better that they're being honest about it, that they need more time. What should be Telltale's next project? X-Files? I actually said this a while ago that I would love to see a Telltale game, an X-Files one, or a Sherlock Holmes one. An X-Files one would be, oh my God, I would explode. I would explode. That would be amazing. I watched all 9 seasons, both movies. I loved the X-Files. I was a huge fanatic, and I still love them. And I would die with a Telltale X-Files game. That would be amazing. So freaking amazing. It would have to be sometime during like the 5th season or something, because the 5th season was like one of my favorite seasons of all. I wouldn't want to see after the 9th season. I want to see somewhere like in the middle, somewhere where it was just kicking off, you know, where the X-Files was like at its peak, at least in my point of view. So I would want to see an X-Files Telltale game in the middle of the series, or a Sherlock Holmes game. I think I've said that before. I think it would be so cool to see that. They have mentioned a Firefly possibility. That would be so cool. That would make up for the cancellation of that show. Have you ever tried to get your mom to play any of the games with choices? Not actually play like the gameplay, but the choices. Not like BioWare games, because they're asking like BioWare, like, you know, the Arachnite Queen or Killer or not. But I have, when I would play Harvest Moon, she's like, she knows about my Harvest Moon obsession. I mean, ever since we were little kids, she would see us playing Harvest Moon. Whenever I'm playing Harvest Moon, I will go to her and I'll be like, you name my cow. Like, I have her name my cows. I have her name my sheep. And that was the only game that she ever had any connection with. If you could meet up with the MD from 10 years ago, what would she think of you 10 years ago, I wasn't... I was still in college. I think she would say, really? Like, you're still not a teacher? Because that's what I was going to school for, English teacher. A while ago, I found my journal when I was in 6th grade. So I was like 12 years old. Actually, I'm going to look for it and I'm going to read it to you guys. Because I actually say what I think I will be doing when I'm 30. This is my journal from 6th grade, and it's super old. 8/15/94. In 20 years, I would be 31 years old. I guess I was 11 then. Yeah. And I'd have my job as a veterinarian. That's when I wanted to be a veterinarian. Or either a teacher. I would have my own house and my own car. I would have my own money and my own jewelry. And I would have 1 talking bird and 4 dogs. My dogs would be 1 Shih Tzu and 2 Cocker Spaniels and 1 Husky. Their names would be Coco for the Shih Tzu, and the 2 Cocker Spaniels would be called, one would be called Blondie. I actually had a dog named Blondie. And the other one would be called Princess. And the Husky would be called Matt. They look like this. So that's pretty much what 11-year-old me thought I would be doing right now. I do have a Shih Tzu. His name isn't Coco. His name is Charlie. I don't have really my own jewelry. I have my own car. The house isn't really my own. I'm not a veterinarian and I'm not a teacher. I'm sorry. I disappointed you, young me. That's it for now. Ask more questions in the comments. I will be taking questions from the comments now. So yeah, I'm just going to be answering questions from now until Christmas. Like I said, don't expect one of these every day or anything like that. I hope I could do that, but sometimes I won't be able to. But I will be doing 12 of these videos. It's just questions and answers. And you could pretty much ask whatever you want. It doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be video game related. Charlie, stop being weird, fool. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.